Hi team, okay, so you hear me talk a lot about this thoracic extension. The idea of people who train and do lots of press-ups, especially martial arts and boxers, we have shoulders that come forwards because they support the movements that we do. The problem with that is you get this kind of posture, especially we're in a world where everybody wants a six-pack and they're driving their sit-ups there and they're going to gain this sort of posture here. So I'm all about trying to open the body. From past experience, I know that this is not a good posture to have and it creates injuries. So what we want to do is, guys, most people, when they want to get their arm above the head, to be able to get the arm further back, they've got to tilt from their body, which is putting far too much pressure on the back here. Especially if they have two arms in the air, most people will struggle to get the arms behind the head without having to tilt here. So it means they've just got poor thoracic extension. So it's the top half of the body here. This is your thoracic part of the spine. It's rolled over. In the world we live in with everything in a box, phones, TV, and we're leaning over. What we want to try and do is we want to externally rotate and strengthen this external rotation without having to arc the back this way. So we want it to be, it just sits flat. So I've got an exercise for you guys, which is going to be fantastic now. Obviously I've got this on bags, you can have it on a door frame, just all you need is a resistance band. Now you can do it without a resistance band and I will show you how to do it at the end anyway, but stick with me. This resistance band here, so I'm going to take one in I'm going to turn my back on you because I want you to look at the way my back works, and one this up. Now, a lot of people struggle when they squat. If you had to squat and keep your hand above your head, you might find it difficult. So we're going to create that. We're going to create resistance from the band. So from here, I'm going to put the resistance on first, I'm going to put it up here. So you can see straight away, I've got my arms as high as I can. Now I'm going to squat down, and squat down. I'm going to try and keep my arms up high. Then I'm going to roll the shoulders down, hitting all the muscles that support the scapula. Bring it back again, and then come back up again. Now you can play around with that, guys, and do different motions. So again, arms above the head, engage the upper muscles in the back, hold them tight, squatting down, rolling around. Now from here, then I can move it around, different angles, pulling in, hitting the lats, pulling back out again, pulling down. I can roll circles around, roll it back the other way. Now this is super hard, team. You can't see my face right there, but I'm straining. And then I come back up again, and then back out. So what you're doing is here, guys, we're teaching the muscles in the back to pull me out. So many people will train their shoulders, they train their delts, their rear delts, or their lateral delts. Right, I'm going to do loads of training my delts to make them look bigger and stronger. And they're forgetting the shoulder movement actually comes from the mobility in the scapula. And if we have weak muscles, so these muscles here, this muscle here, super strong, pulls in. The ones at the back aren't as strong. We don't use them as much, so we get weaker and then we get tied to here. What we want to do is, guys, we want to strengthen. I did a tutorial all about stretching, which is fantastic. We want to make sure we have that mobility. We don't want it from lack of flexibility. But we also want to create stability as well. We want to create stability in the body, so we stabilise by creating the strength. Now, if you don't have resistance bands at home, you can do this without resistance bands. So I'll give you an example. I come up, but I mind the muscles squeeze. From that position there, I'm going to squat down, hold my structure, and then pull back, pull in. I can move around, pull out, roll, and then back up again. Now, why am I squatting? The simple reason why I'm squatting is, guys, because it stops me from doing this. If I squat, I drop my bum back, it stops me from being able to push my hips forwards. Now, what you're going to find is when you squat and you try and bring your arms above your head, the muscle in your lower back, your rectus spinae, is going to try and erect. It's going to try and pull you back. And you're going to find the muscles down here are going to activate. We want to try and pull the body in here, so you can see from the side, if I do a squat, a lot of people squat and they go here and their bum right out. Now, a lot of people do that because they want their bums to look good. If we do my squat like this, my bum sticks out, but I'm using my lower back far too much. Also, then you get the other people who squat and they put the bum down because they get that dip, because they think, right, if I can squat ass to grass, bum to floor, I must be really good at squats, great flexibility. But it's opening the spine up and it's putting far too much pressure. You never want to load a weight from this butt wink position, because it's just too much pressure on the spine. So you want to hold a good point here. And what you do is you'll be able to hold, you can see from here, pelvic tilting, moving my pelvis, that's the position I want to be in. So I'm training my body to hold strong there. Also, By squatting, I'm connecting. You've got your base, which is your feet, your core, which is pretty much everything from here to here, your thoracic and your navigators, your 4 major departments. So from here down, I want them all to talk to each other. So when I train people in Simply Fit and all my other programs, I'm always trying to get people to think, right, how do all the 4 departments communicate with each other? If I'm doing this at the same time as learning this, I'm teaching my body to communicate rather than isolating, or worse, sitting down and trying to do this. I'm not a big fan of machines where you sit really comfortable and you go, everything supports you and you isolate the muscle group. Unless you have an injury and you're trying to focus on that one, and the physiotherapist maybe said to you, right, we need to break it down and work just on that skill pattern. But hopefully a good physio will then teach you how to integrate that movement into all the other movements as well. And I'm integrating this external rotation, hitting the rhomboid in the back, pulling the shoulder blades together, getting that full mobility in my shoulders, into my arms, into my legs, through movement. So I want that motion here. I advise you, train, that if you're getting to especially home workouts at the moment, they're going to be very, not one-dimensional, that may be a bit unfair, but you basically find different ways of the same movement patterns. You've got to try and become a bit more athletic. How can you support your body as a whole? Don't ruin your posture. You don't want to come out of lockdown and go, yeah, I train loads, and you've got this posture. You want to be, yeah, I train loads, I feel tall, strong, and I've got great mobility in my arms. I can stretch out without having to do this. I don't get the pains in my back anymore. I don't get pains in my hips anymore. I don't get the tension in my shoulders. How many people have got bad shoulders because they just train wrong? Open up. There's some great people to follow. There's a guy called Australian strength training coach. I think I'll tag it into it. He's incredible tuition on that. He'll get on the bench, but he's done half an hour of warm-up exercises for his whole body before he's even picked the weight up. If you're getting into a training session and straight into press-ups, it's just far too soon into it. Please don't miss warm-ups. Warm-ups are so important. The warm-up isn't just about getting the heart rate up, it's about switching on all the muscle groups. Imagine the warm-up is there designed to go, right, this is my factory, this is my machine, and I'm going to wake up all the different departments in my machine, all the managers that focus on those departments, and make sure they're awake as well. Then I'm ready to train. If you miss the warm-up out, you're going to get injuries down the line, or you're going to restrict yourself from getting your results that you want. So please, make sure you're integrating your external rotators, you're bringing that posture good, you're looking after your body, but integrating it as well with all the other movements you do. Hope that helped, guys. Get involved, give them a go. Any other questions, send them my way and I'm happy to answer.